Hello everyone, I'm Justin Jmikowski, and welcome to The Friday Show. Not content to sit back and let President Trump hog all the attention at this year's United Nations General Assembly meeting, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani took the stage Wednesday and delivered a lengthy speech devoted almost entirely to blasting President Trump. Without actually saying Trump's name, Rouhani said that, quote, words were spoken in the UN General Assembly that were hateful and unfit to the UN, which is established to promote peace. The exchange was promoted by Trump's nationalist-flavored speech and his desire to pull out of the nuclear deal the Obama administration made with Iran. After 3 years of fierce, sometimes savage battles, Iraqi force-backed up U.S. air and ground support have finally knocked out the ability of ISIS to launch further attacks. The battles in the war-ravaged nation began after ISIS captured Mosul and declared a caliphate in 2014. The U.S. and its regional allies now face a new series of challenges. There is the possibility of a regrouping ISIS and the danger that the country might fall back into the state of decline that allowed militants to take huge swaths of Iraq in the first place. General Andrew Croft, deputy commander of the U.S.-led mission against ISIS, however, stated that ISIS is collapsing faster than we expected. Sarah?
Thanks, Justin. A deadly fire at a Malaysian school has taken the lives of 23 children, 21 of those between the ages of 6 and 17. The fire was the result of a plan gone bad, as 7 now suspects expected to steal from kids who bullied them. However, they decided to burn down the school in an act of revenge. The suspects set 2 cooking gas tanks aflame on the top floor of the school, which spread quickly to the rest of the building, blocking main exits for those inside. The fire took firefighters an hour to extinguish. The suspects, ages 12 to 18, were arrested. 6 of the 7 tested positive for drugs. The death toll from the 7.1 magnitude earthquake in Mexico has now risen to 119 people. Continued danger from collapsing buildings and ever-increasing power outages in and around Mexico City are making matters worse with each passing hour. Federal Interior Minister Miguel Chong claims that time is their enemy, as hundreds could still be trapped under fragile building remains. We will keep you updated on this story as events change. After this break, we'll hear from Carter with national news.
Welcome back. Hurricane Maria swept through Puerto Rico Tuesday, leaving the entire island without power. Maria also devastated the Dominican Republic, leaving behind widespread destruction throughout the Caribbean. The Category 5 hurricane featured very heavy rains and winds up to 175 miles per hour. At this hour, Maria is moving steadily out into the Atlantic Ocean, where it is expected to cause only minor shoreline damage to the U.S. coastline. President Trump, in his first address to the United Nations, dubbed Kim Jong-un the Rocket Man in light of North Korea's recent nuclear missile test. The president made a statement concerning North Korea's unwillingness to cooperate, stating, "The United States has great strength and patience, but if forced to defend itself and its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Hopefully, cooler heads will prevail." Lissy?
Thanks, Carter. On Sunday night, a vigil to honor 21-year-old Scout Schultz was interrupted by protesters. Schultz, a computer engineering student and the president of Pride Alliance Gay and Lesbian Student Group at Georgia Tech, was shot and killed by police officers. A separate gathering of 50 protesters marched to police headquarters, where 2 squad cars were reportedly set on fire, with protesters being thrown to the ground and handcuffed. 2 police officers were taken to the hospital for treatment of minor injuries, and 3 protesters were arrested and charged with inciting a riot and battery of officer. In other news, Paul Manafort, President Donald Trump's former campaign chairman, was wiretapped by U.S. investigators under secret court orders before and after the presidential campaign. Amidst concerns that then-candidate Trump was in contact with Russian operatives during the voting process, an investigation was opened in 2016 and continued into 2017. 3 sources familiar with the information stressed that the communications between Manafort and the Russians are not conclusive. Manafort has denied he was ever knowingly communicating with Russians during the election and denied participating in Russian efforts. We'll be right back after this break.
Welcome back. Stone Chaney, a 6th grader from East Middle School in Farmington Hills, was violently assaulted by his teacher because he didn't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Chaney made the decision to not stand for the pledge because he believes he should not make a pledge to the flag but to God and his family. Chaney's father was furious because his son was forced out of his chair and made to stand. The family is currently undecided at this time as to their son's educational future. This week, the Michigan State Board of Canvassers approved a petition that seeks to raise the state's minimum wages and eliminate smaller wages for tipped employees. Michigan's minimum wage is currently $8.90 an hour and will be raised to $9.25 an hour in January 2018. Under the proposal submitted by One Fair Wage Michigan, an organization led by advocates for restaurant workers, the minimum wage could rise to $12 in 2022. Now over to Peyton.
Thanks, Taylor. In local news, an unidentified man was stabbed to death in Mount Morris Township along Clio Road. The victim was found lying beside a vehicle near the tree line along Mount Morris Road. Anyone with information about the crime is encouraged to contact the Mount Morris Township Police Department, as the case is still under investigation. In other news, a Flushing area gas line sprung a leak earlier this week after it was accidentally ruptured during road work occurring near the entrance to Seymour Elementary School. Repair work is underway in an effort to cap the leak and reopen the Clayton Township Road. On the other side of the break, we'll hear from David with this week's weekend tailgate weather report.
Hi, I'm David Sackrader giving you a look into today's weather forecast. Today we are looking at a mostly sunny day with a whopping high of 90 degrees and a low of 64 degrees. The lack of wind, however, is going to help skyrocket those temperatures so that it will feel like it's in the hundreds. Looking into the weekend, tomorrow we'll have another hot one with a mostly sunny high of 91 degrees. And on Sunday, the heat wave continues as well, giving us a sunny high of 89 to round out the weekend. Next, we'll hear from Eric with sports.
Welcome back to the MDMTV.com Friday show. I'm Eric with sports. The Montrose varsity football team defeated Durand last week 48-0. They head to Corunna tonight to take on the Cavaliers. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. The Rams volleyball team lost a tough match to Morris on Monday night, and they are back in action next Monday night against Genesee. The Montrose boys soccer team took care of Flint and Lakeville this week to better their shot at a GAC championship. The Rams cross-country team is running a meet tomorrow at Delta College. In college sports, the Michigan Wolverines survived a scare from Air Force last week, winning 29-13. They open up their Big Ten season on a date with Purdue. The Spartans are fresh off a bye week last week and are hoping that the extra week of preparation will help them with this week's tough game against the always tough Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. The Detroit Lions are off to a 2-0 start after a Monday Night Football win over the Giants earlier in the week. Some fans are already thinking of a perfect season is in store for the Lions. They will have a tough test this week against Atlanta with this game at home. That's the MDMTV.com Friday show. Join us right back here next week.